Believe it or not, your eyes are not deceiving you one bit. The most anticipated game in Sony's last 5 years or even more has finally dropped a bomb. Not just any bomb, they have dropped a massive nuclear bomb during today's Sony's State of Play, where we finally got not just story but gameplay trailer for The Last of Us Part 2. And in this episode of Smack Explains, we're gonna explain that in details. So let's get started. What is up, Smack Empire? SmackNPie here. Welcome to episode 2 of Smack Explains, a show where I dive deep into anything related to horror, video games, and YouTube in general. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe and hit that notifications bell. Now, I've delayed that horror video for the next time because I cannot skip talking about the game that changed my life in so many ways. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about The Last of Us 2. The fact of the matter is, this had and still has the most hype in Sony's history of games. While apart from few, you can say one of many most hyped video games in Sony's history. But for a reason too. The first Last of Us got so many awards, critically acclaimed, and I can list all the achievements here, but there was this massive emotional connection between the players and the characters that were presented in the game. Ever since its bizarre ending, fans left wanting more of this, and thus we've been waiting for a sequel for years. And finally, after a few years in 2016, we finally got the announcement that we're finally getting the sequel in the name of The Last of Us Part 2. Good name, by the way. But then things started to disappear. We were barely getting any promotional or content material to keep ourselves going. There were a few trailers every once in a while. Actually, this is the 4th trailer if I'm correct. So you can clearly see that there's not much we know about the story or the game up until now. If you haven't seen the trailer yet, I would highly recommend you to watch it out for yourself. I'll put the link in the description, but let's break down the trailer and see what we got in this fire trailer, which also includes a release date as well, so stick around for that. Now, I just want to get this out there because I know I will be saying this over and over again. Can we all just take a moment and appreciate the graphics of this game? Like, look at the beauty of this. Real, actual amazingness of this game. The graphics are sick. Just like its predecessors, the game has not, so far, disappointed in terms of them keeping up with the technology, animations, graphics, and combat. Oh boy, that combat needs a different video on its own altogether. But nonetheless, it's something to look forward to, and I wanted to point that out anyway, so let's keep going. Instead of just going through frame by frame and analyzing it, let's try to analyze the story itself. Where we are, what are we doing, and stuff like that. Understand, sometimes these games tends to ask more from the brain section to connect the dots, because the writers, they do a fantastic job with how they write the story and how the trailers and promotional materials is shown or are shown to the public, so keep that in mind. The first thing is winter. Now, I don't know about you, but in the first game, winter was literally the most amazing thing happened to me from a gaming point of view. I just love winters in general, so seeing winter in games, ugh. Also, can we just appreciate the fact that when winter was at its peak in the first game and Joel got brutally hurt and injured, that was the time where Ellie stepped up and showed what she's really capable of. All the skills and confidence she showed to keep her quote-unquote father alive. And now, since she's all grown up and, all alone, this is winter again, where she's taking the lead to do whatever she's doing. Coming to that in just a second, so just wanted to point that out there. We finally learned that Ellie has not only become friends with the new characters shown in the 3rd trailer, but she's also living in this town full of other people. And this kind of reminds me of The Walking Dead, the game, season 3, where Prescotts were a thing. Yeah, let's not get into that part. Anyways, one thing to note here is that Ellie is super close to that girl, Dina, from the previous trailer she kissed, and now they've become girlfriends. if that makes sense. However, we all know that this story is not all happy flowers and yay, we made it, let's marry. No, this game is a lot darker and the trailer didn't took long enough to show us that. We learn quickly that the group we're living with has this training where we go out, find supplies, and anything we can't handle, we get back, just like them Prescott's. Oh, I'm really smelling a raid here very soon. But before we get to that part, ladies and gentlemen, Dina and Ellie got split up due to this.
Ellie!
We then get lost. We're all alone, on our own, finding Dina, and that's where Ellie's lonely journey begins. She starts to take different routes, techniques, breaking in and breaking out of different locations in an attempt to find Dina, her girlfriend. Now, I'm not saying that she lost Dina due to that fall that I showed a little bit ago, because I'm most likely sure something else happened in the between, but I'd rather have that fall moment to split them up than have Dina disappearing out of nowhere. Like, is this horror game? Hello? Wait, come to think of it, it is. Never mind. And then something terrible happened. Something we knew we were gonna get in this game, but they dropped a hint of that in this trailer. As she was scouting one specific location, she entered a room. And then upon entering that room, she gets attacked and pinned down by a couple of men. And we see the real struggle of Ellie here. Yeah, we all know where this one is going. I just want you all to see this frame specifically. I don't think I've seen Ellie this vulnerable ever, which is why this stuff is scary and crazy. And then hear this.
Get off me! Please stop!
Okay, yeah, if your heart is not melted yet, you got problems, ladies and gentlemen. You need to go to psychiatry right now. Obviously, there's a lot to digest here. Probably the most important aspect in this trailer was Ellie's struggle, not just physically, that's very obvious at this point, but psychologically. We then hear gunshots. I believe that one of these two scenarios happened here. Number one, this is going towards very dark theme where we touch the aspect of raping and honor killing. Now, there's a reason Naughty Dog hired a female writer in this situation, because I believe that if you're telling a story of a young woman's struggle, not just physically but psychologically, I think it's best to get input from a woman rather than just men writing that piece altogether. I don't know, just wanted to point that out there. And number two, this is where Dina comes in. She attacks those men who attacked Ellie, and in doing so, she gets shot and they kill Ellie's girlfriend. In doing so, they either escapes or get brutally killed by Ellie. I like that one. And that's why the sound of no comes into play. Now, from that alone, that's enough for me to stop looking at the trailer and go, I can't handle this. But oh boy, there's more. We then see something many people might call unnecessary. But Naughty Dog doesn't do things unnecessary, ladies and gentlemen. We see the bruises on her body. That, of course, implies to her immunity, which we're gonna tackle some other day. But now, most specifically, we see the return of Tommy. Finally, freaking finally, someone to take care of Ellie. Not that she needed anyone anyway. I'm just happy. Parents' instincts, ladies and gentlemen. This is where the anger, the thirst of getting revenge, the seeking of vengeance, and avenging her girlfriend, Dina, comes into play. That was enough for her to start a war against those group or whatever or whoever they are. It really was. And sure, Tommy might not help her at first, but he will eventually. It's Ellie. What do you expect, ladies and gentlemen? And then we see a glimpse of what the other group is capable of. And I gotta say, damn, look at you. I mean, I'm super excited for this. This is nothing like Fireflies, or maybe an upgrade in Fireflies. They torture, rape, and kill, and do all kinds of stuff on a scale level that's never witnessed before by Ellie. I just gotta point it out. I'm not excited by the torture and all of that bad stuff. I'm just saying, the way they're portraying Ellie and how badass she is in this story and game is just making me excited. I hope she's alright. I hope they don't go too far. If they do, that's fine. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna enjoy watching those tortures, but it's a fictional story. Stop it. Let's grow up. Let's not be childish anymore. Anyways, let's get back to the topic at hand. Tommy also mentioned how large the group is, so either this has to do with something religious or cultish. Now that would be insane, and I'd like to see that. We then see some really insane combat, which, like I mentioned before, is a different episode on its own, but damn, there was a dog who attacked Ellie. Thanks, Neil Druckmann. What was that? And in doing all of this, we see something that gives peace to everyone's soul. We see the return of the man, the legend, the GOAT. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we see the Joel. Not like the first trailer, because unlike last time, he was alive and well and talking. That's like dream come true. And can I mention how cool plain Joel is looking out here, ladies and gentlemen, like, excuse me. Of course, he mentions how he's not gonna let her do this on her own. Of course, he knew what was up, because remember, last trailer that we got, he's Joel, the man who destroyed everyone in his path just to keep Ellie alive. What are you on about? Of course, I smell someone's death. Not one death that already happened, but someone else's. So yeah, I do believe that Joel might die at the end of this, because I think this is where all the signs are pointing towards. Ellie has this bubble around her in this new story. Her mother, her girlfriend, taking revenge, all of that. But in all of this, she's forgetting about how Joel was the one who literally victimized and brutalized everyone, including himself here and there, just to save her. But now she's not looking because she's got all this bubble going around her head, but as soon as she realizes the value of that, it's gonna be too late for her. I hope it's not, but from my perspective and in my theory, it's gonna be too late for her. I'm just gonna keep it there. And finally, we have the release date, ladies and gentlemen, and just go back to our channel's past history. Didn't we said in the video of For The Last of Us Part 2 release date that it's gonna be early 2020? You guys were very quick to hit that dislike button. You guys were really quick to say, oh, how we know nothing. Who's laughing now, huh? Who's laughing now? It's not us. Wait, that's the wrong one. It's not you. That's right. We're all crying because The Last of Us 2 release date is very early 2020. I don't know what I'm saying. And I love how as soon as the trailer dropped and as soon as everyone realized, oh shit, it's early 2020, the narrator of that video, Brett, he messaged me really quickly saying I was right all along. He was getting a ton of hate for that. People were saying, oh, it's gonna come out in 2019. You this, you that. Look at now, huh? Yeah. Don't mess with Brett. Don't mess with Team SmackNPie. 21st February 2020. It's gonna be lit. But in all seriousness, I am super excited for this. This is the best game, or one of the best game of all time in my life. The first game changed my life in so many ways, and I cannot wait to experience what's next in their stories. And I cannot wait to hear your thoughts down in the comments. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that will wrap up second episode of Smack Explains. We're gonna do Joy Gang from Dark Deception Chapter 4 in the next episode, so make sure to subscribe. What was that? So make sure to subscribe and watch out for that, ladies and gentlemen, and become an official member of SmackNPie. I'm Smack, and until next time, take care and peace.